Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In Umdah Talib course, now we are talking about a student who is more committed to the madhab. The book is still for beginners. You can take it as your first step in studying the madhab. But I want you to ask yourself a question. Am I a serious student of knowledge now? I definitely encourage everyone to become a serious student of knowledge, especially if you have an idea what this is and you are considering making this al-ilm a profession, which is a very honorable thing, to make it a profession, to consider it your profession. Even if you are a doctor or an engineer or a teacher or whatever, this is not your real profession, then it's al-ilm, it's what you live for. For now, I think Umdat al-Talib is your first step towards this goal. Because now in Umdat al-Talib you are committed for a relatively longer time, and now this is compared with Bidayat al-Abd. Combining both books or studying them together or one at a time is the best option. But now, who are the audience or I wouldn't say the target audience, but who should be the audience of the Dars Umdat al-Talib? We are talking about people who are committed, because now they are studying all of al-fiqh. All of al-fiqh the same way a judge would study, or a person who is trained to be a judge would study al-fiqh. And this means that the next book is more advanced, more details. And now, after finishing Umdat al-Talib, you are not like other people anymore. I'm recording this now, and our brothers and sisters and our families in Palestine are being killed and bombed, and we've been talking with our students about this meaning. If you stop studying knowledge because you are sad about what's happening, the alternative I will have as a teacher is a person who knows nothing about al-ilm, who does not even know the difference between the chapters of al-fiqh or the books of al-fiqh, or even the differences between al-fiqh wal-aqad. Yani if you ask them what is al-fiqh and what is al-aqidah, maybe they will not give you a proper answer. But this is a very important thing that you consider. Now you are committed, now you're studying everything, and once you finish Umdat al-Talib, your knowledge, if compared with other people, with the majority of al-Muslimin, and unfortunately, but it's the reality, it's much higher. Your knowledge is much higher. You have been elevated now, and you are still like a pre-intermediate student. Because we in fiqh, in Islamic disciplines, the bar is really high. The standard is really high. For this is something that you need to consider. You are covering worships, you are covering transactions, you are covering marriage, you are covering al-qada, and you are covering everything in al-fiqh. Everything. You are studying al-fiqh the same way a judge studied it. Please consider this. Take it seriously. This is the most important text written for beginners. And I believe if you do not study Umdat al-Talib as a beginner, I think even if you are now finalizing your studies, you're finishing everything, now you are studying Sharh Muntaha al-Iradat or something properly, definitely, I think you will have to go back to read Umdat al-Talib with an explanation or something quickly before you finish your studies of fiqh. To the extent that when you become a very advanced student of knowledge, yet you have never read Umdat al-Talib before, I think you will have to go back to read Umdat al-Talib. This is your chance now. You can read it now, you can study it now, and it is probably the best thing you can study in the English language. And if this book is studied in English, it is the best book you study in English. Dalil al-Talib, even if it's translated into English, you cannot study it in English. It's not possible, it's not good, you are losing a lot, you are missing a lot, and you are ruining your mind. This is my opinion as a shaykh or as a scholar who has been teaching al-ilm for a while, who studied translation actually in at the university. Yes, even though I do not identify myself as a translator, but I studied translation and I know what it means to translate something like Dalil al-Talib, which is the following step. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam.